Hobbies. Hello, I'm Dustin DaHusky. Yeah, we're back at it again. So, Pandemic Talk 2020. We know the game, and it sucks. But, so, it's canceled. What's canceled? Nearly everything. No, scratch that. All the things. So, what are you going to do with your newly found free time? What are you going to do? Well, you fill it up with something, of course. Oh. Wait, who's Ray? Ray Husky would be the one who would say, "Oh, he's good at that. He's a dork." Okay, so you have extra time. You don't know what to do with it because it's 2020. You have no idea what you're going to do with yourself at this point. If you're just working, you don't really do anything else outside of work. You don't see friends. You don't see family. You've cut every little bit of human contact out of your life. So what are you going to do now? Well, hobbies. Furry is a hobby. To some people, it's a full-on lifestyle, and I don't understand why, but okay, good for them. Or just get a lot of art. I guess that buying art's a hobby. Okay, there we go. A very expensive hobby. But then again, all hobbies are expensive. So this is a video about talking about getting into hobbies that you currently are in or would love to do. Now I'm going to start off with one example that this is a hobby that I absolutely enjoy. I'm a reenactor. I've been reenacting since 2005 and have been somehow around reenacting to some shape and degree since 1997. That was a wet Schwimmwagen ride. Oh, if you know what a Schwimmwagen is. We were in the middle of a lake. It still has a hole. I was given a bucket to bail us out. So, I'm a reenactor, longtime reenactor. My dad, being a well-known reenactor in the reenacting community, I wouldn't say he's Uncle Kage of the reenacting community, but he's way up there in terms of influence. And I was quite happy to be in his shadow until he quit the hobby in 2016, 2017. Then all was fine till the reenacting community discovered me. Because they knew, of course, Papa Joe, my grandfather, Sepp, my dad, and then me. And that community knew those two guys, but oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's a third guy. Well, hey, what are you going to do now? And now all of a sudden an entire community just kind of looks at me and it's like, oh, I've been here for a while. You just started to notice me now. Okay, I will do something. Oh, then I yell at people. I hate yelling at people, but oh my god. There are furries that have seen me in reenacting. People don't see me angry and furry or yelling. Oh, as a reenactor, I will yell at you. And I don't care, and it is fun. It's all meant for all meant for play. It's really not meant to be taken seriously, but boy, do I really get into it. Oh, load up the pack gun. We're holding it with hamster nut gelatin. So, the very year that I wanted to get back into reenacting, like, make my presence known in this community was to be the year 2020. I typically do anywhere from 4 to 5 events a year, which are kind of like conventions, but they're not really. But they are, in a sense. It's kind of strange. My unit actually runs an event down in Lockport. It's fun. Yeah, oh my god. The amount of insurance to, actually, we've discovered that it's just as much insurance to insure a Willys MB Jeep as it is to insure a half track or a tank. It's kind of sad. It's also funny at the same time. And then one dude in a flamethrower is about $1 million of insurance money. Oh, and a tank is actually cheaper. Think about that. So, the very year that I wanted to actually get into reenacting, get into it like full immersion, I am not just in the mud, I am the mud. And then totally canceled that year. It's like, well, shit. What am I supposed to do with my whole year? Because I was expecting to be out with the guys, covered in mud, yell at people, be my weird self, because that doesn't change between furry and reenacting. I'm still that weird guy. You're still laughing at me somewhere in Illinois. But that's okay. So, reenacting, total bust for me this year. So that's one hobby that I can't do, because you know what? That is events. Furry. Not a total bust. I can still get involved, still get active in it, just can't do any major meets, can't do any cons, so okay. Alright, that's one thing I can't do. Partially can't do. But what about other things that I enjoy? Well, I certainly like reading, I certainly like history, so that doesn't change. So, you know what? Buy a few reference books here and there. Would not mind more Men-at-Arms Osprey books, because you know what? If you know what those are, and if you're a history nerd, 48 pages of knowledge, man, you can't go wrong. And they're worth as much their weight in gold anyway, so yeah, reading, total book nerd, just bookworm husk, just swirling with a book. So there's that. So the history aspect, the reading aspect of things, okay, well that doesn't change. So, alright, I can still do that. I love photography. I've always been into it since I was a kid, since I was a pup-husk. But I had a film camera. Always had a film camera, regardless of what time it was. Period of my life, I should say, always had a film camera. Didn't matter. Didn't have a digital. I used a digital camera. It was not mine. It was my dad's or my mom's. But it was not one that I owned. I didn't really actually buy myself my own digital camera until 2012. So at that entire point, I've been using film, 35mm film this whole time. You know when you feel like you've been left behind in society or like in technology, you're kind of like an afterthought or a holdover. Like the last Japanese soldier to surrender for World War II in 1974. So, 29 years. I feel like I am similar to, oh, yeah, I know digital exists, but I'm not going to buy a camera. That's expensive. But then again, film's just as expensive. But I have a film camera, so I'm just going to keep buying film. So my phone pulled the middle finger, and it set it to update mid-video. Okay, so as I was saying, film. Absolutely love film. Just actually sent a bunch of film to the dark room, and they turned out pretty good, actually. And my first time ever using 120mm. And you know what? I am thoroughly impressed by 120mm. Now, and of course with fur cons, I mentioned this before, I enjoy paneling now. I'm a total panelist at this point. I've done 2 panels regarding both my favorite hobbies, reenacting and film photography. Yeah, there are panels about photography, but I'm assuming that's digital. So you know what? I'm going to go with film because no one else is doing film, and I enjoy film, and that's kind of my shtick anyway. I've got SLRs, I've got rangefinders, I got viewfinders, I have even brownie box cameras, which are as simple as you can go, besides making a pinhole camera, which I have not done, but I would love to. And apparently one fur made an entire exposure for 1 full year of the sunrise, and apparently it's wild. I should do one just to have fun with. So yeah, I could maybe dabble in with more film. I bought more film. I've got some stockpiles of film. Like how you have Doomsday Prepper stockpiling propane and all the Hank Hills in his basement. You know, as much frozen bacon that can, you know, serve an entire city and more. Me, it's not to say I have a huge stockpile of film, but I have quite a bit of film. I like to, just to have it on hand. That way I don't have to go into a store, buy film. I can buy packs of film online for a lot cheaper than I would go elsewhere at a store. Just doesn't make any sense to do that anymore. Developing film, that's still pricey. That's $12. It's $3 cheaper to do that at the darkroom than it is to go to Walgreens, which they sent it directly to the darkroom anyway. So you know what? Doing it directly, skip the middleman, just go straight to the darkroom. I save $3, even though I chew that back up with shipping and whatnot, and with each individual rolls of film and large scans. You know what? I actually am not saving. I'm not saving any money doing that anyway. So, okay, but film. Then I like plastic modeling, and I've been doing it a lot as a pup. My dad still does it. I mentioned it in a previous video, and you know what? I enjoy it. I like the small amounts of detail I can put onto a plastic kit. Whether if it's 1/24th scale or 1/35th scale. I did 1/72nd scale, and I hated it. And I still do them from time to time, and I don't know why I put myself through it, but I try to do much more larger scale kits because I enjoy fine detail. I don't like to keep pissing myself off with the smallest little itty bitty tiny tank. And then using tweezers, like the tip of a fine point tweezer to paint something that's just not consequential. So pandemic here, you find something to keep yourself busy, because you know what? A busy mind is a happy mind. If you sit at home, play video games. I actually don't own a single video game console, because you know what? I'm pure 90s. I like my Windows 98 games, and you know what? I don't have a Windows 98 computer. I was given one. I still have to test it out. But beyond that, I don't play much games. I would not mind getting invited to play some games, but I personally don't have any game. Kurdan's more of a gamer than I am, and all of his stuff he saved to a copy to his gaming computer. I just have files of Panzer Commander and Steel Panthers and Pharaoh. Oh my god, the nostalgia is just killing me right now. It's like SimCity with Pharaoh, except I keep killing every single one of my civilization because I keep making way too many tented villages. And for some reason they keep burning. Those poor people. Anyway, I almost want to cry about that. It's like, every single damn time I try to make a goddamn ancient city, it keeps burning down. Well, why is that? It's all tense. Oh, okay, I see the problem. You're not going straight to buildings, yo. I'm like, no. I'm a pleb. I just like tents. Oh my god, I love that game, actually. It's pretty fun, though. 2020, it's a year of pandemic. You gotta find yourself to keep you busy, keep your mind busy. If you enjoy going to a gym, go to a gym. Because you know what? Sometimes pumping iron and exercising can make you feel really, really incredible. And you get in good shape, which makes you healthier. So you're doing a lot of positive doing that. You enjoy gaming, video gaming. Perfect. There's one thing. So I have pre-existing hobbies before the pandemic. So I'm never a shortage of hobbies. However, here's one hobby that I recently picked up, and it was something I wanted to do for the last 2 years. Busy Hoosk, so I never get a full chance to actually experiment doing this. Podcasting. And I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. Oh my god, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy podcasting. I'm barely a month into podcasting. My setup is incredibly simple. I only have a mic. In fact, you know what? Was I almost... there we go. It's my microphone. It's actually not even my microphone. It's Gerdan's. And you know what? This is the only thing I need to make a podcast. And I have an intro music created. I have a background template for my podcast, because you know what? I'm boring to look at. That's okay. It's just these videos, you're going to have to tolerate my face. But otherwise, for like an hour's worth, which turns into an hour 40 minutes, sorry, I can't stop, because you know what? I enjoy talking, because you know what? Hoosks, they're very talkative doggos. And they're adorable. So just kind of let them talk, because it's cute. And then it gets annoying. And it gets cute again. I've never had so much fun doing something new that I've always wanted to do, and having a positive experience learning something. And no swearing involved. So I guess in pandemic year, I've learned something, is that anyone can podcast, and they can talk about anything. Literally, I don't make a point to my show. Because if, let's say, it's a furry podcast, you talk about furries. You can only talk so much about furries before it gets old. You can be a furry on a podcast and talk about anything you want. Then the world's your limit. At that point, you could talk about just about anything. It's quite fun. I enjoy it. I'm not going to conventions anytime soon. Not going to meets anytime soon. As much as I love to interact with people, but I enjoy podcasting now, and maybe this would be a fun avenue to get more friends on the show, to not only say hello, but just to have fun with them on the air. Talk about weird stuff, because I do that in my car while working for the state, and oh my god, I gotta tell you, all the stuff is locked away in an archive, and I can't use it because it's state property now. But I did that. I did that for 6 years. Podcasting is easy for me. It's just really just setting it up, and even that's not that hard. So I recommend continuing an old hobby, current hobby, or new hobby. I highly recommend it. I think it'd be pretty fun. You learn something new, someone learns something new, and passes the time. So, have fun out there.